This happened on April the 7th, and this house was so covered with old trees we could not see the house. All the trees surrounding this house were uprooted, were destroyed, were cut up into many pieces. So the house was left completely exposed to the sun.
Okay.
That gorgeous, huge, old tree. And not only that tree, but all the trees that were covering the house and all the trees on this part of the land.
Okay.
When they finished that action, it was 4 months, all of the logs. And then on August 17th, 18th, and 19th, they cut up the logs into smaller pieces to take them all away.
Okay. So you mean this stone house used to be covered by the trees?
Yes, we couldn't see the house. The house was so covered by the trees. It took them 3 whole days to take all of the logs away. They came at 8 in the morning and they left at 5 in the afternoon. One day they came at 7 in the morning and left about 5 in the afternoon. Where are all of those logs now? How much did they sell them for? What happened to that precious wood? Before they were glorious trees. Now they were all chopped up like a human body chopped up.
Okay. And at that time, the old person still lived there?
He was still there. He was still there. So after this action, the land looked like that.
Oh my God.
It's all like a desert. And then when the strong winds came over from Yamin-san, the dust and the dirt blew all over this neighborhood and into our homes. And when the rains came, it was a huge mud hole, full of mud, because there's nothing there to hold down the soil.
And at that time, the 91 years old gentleman
he was
still there. Still there.
This was in August.
Okay. Okay.
August. He was still living in the old house with his 2 dogs. The only thing they saved on that piece of land was this tree. And this tree was glorious. It was so tall and it had a beautiful, graceful shape that bent way over. It was in nobody's way. And then this was like a little paradise around that tree. The only thing that was left. I don't know why they didn't cut the tree down, but they left the tree. But then during July, when I was away in Europe on my summer holiday, they trimmed that tree and they reduced the tree to like a scarecrow, like in a spooky movie. That is the tree now.
My goodness. What happened? Why?
They trimmed the tree.
Why they trim the tree
Why?
like that?
I think they want to take this tree away. I think they want to remove this tree.
So maybe at that time already have the protest, right?
Nobody was protesting yet. No.
Nobody protesting yet.
No protest for many months.
Oh.
And
So at that time still not protest?
nobody was protesting. I was protesting. I was contacting the government. The government was coming here for meetings. I was showing them the photographs, showing them the land.
So maybe that's the reason why they trim the tree like that and ready for...
That was before the government came here for the meetings. That was before I notified the government.
Before you notified them?
No, that was before my second notification. My first one was about the middle of April. And then everything lay quiet on the land. until August, and they started to take all the wood away. And that's when I got concerned and I found out the proper number to contact the government. That was around August 20th or so. But this happened in July. And then...
So this already notified the government that this happened?
No,
not. So they do it themselves. They did it.
But apparently the government told them that they could trim the trees here on the land, and that's the trimming. Apparently, that's what I've heard. They got permission to trim trees, and they trimmed other trees. This whole jungle is now kind of trimmed out, but that was not a trimming. That was a destructive act. That was a destructive act when you compare to how that glorious tree was before. It was full of birds. The only tree that was left behind my building was full of birds. All the birds made their home there. And it was reduced to that. You can compare. You can compare the height of this tree to that building. And the way it ended up. Now we can see the whole building.
Just one tree and that's...
Yes, it was so full. It was so beautiful. That tree was so gorgeous. I love that tree with all my heart and soul. So the old man stayed on in the house, and then sometime in January, he was taken away.
You saw somebody?
No, but I was told by the government that they took him away. Of course, it was cold. It was kind of cold. I don't know if he's in an old person's home or where he is, but they left his 2 dogs on the land with no caretaker. And sometimes I would see a man come and give food to the dogs. But the dogs need a lot of food. And the man only came maybe like once every 6 days or so, so the dishes were all empty. And so about 2 weeks ago, I saw an older lady walking down through the jungle. She had jumped over the wall. And she was carrying 2 plates. And I said, who are you? And she said she lives in the building right next to the jungle. She said all night the dogs were crying.
Oh.
They were crying. So she cooked rice, and she had some meat with bones to give to the dogs. She felt so sorry for them. So I have gone there about 3 times now to give food to the dogs, but I don't know where the dogs are for the last few days. I haven't seen them. I haven't seen those dogs. So they massacred the land. They left 2 abandoned dogs. The old man was taken out of the home, which is still there. So where is the justice? There's no justice here. It's just a cruel, destructive company. They only care about the billions of dollars that they will make from this whole project. Luxurious living by the riverside. And they promise that they will take the trees and then away, and then when the project is completed, they'll bring the trees back again. But that's impossible because those trees out there are very, very old, like 60, 70 years old, with very, very deep roots that spread very, very far. How can you take those huge trees out of the ground with the deep roots, put them into another place, and bring them back successfully? It's impossible. It's just an empty promise. Like their promise, they say, we will take care of the land. We will take care of the land. So, that's where we stand. Did you see their booklet? Did you see the booklet? Did Anne show you?
Yeah.